I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. So I'm picking this up in 2 Kings chapter 6. I've been reading a lot about Elisha. Of course, he served in the northern kingdom, so this is all primarily in the northern kingdom. Now, I'm pretty sure we're still during the reign of Jehoram in Israel, and again, Jehoram in Judah. The two kings having the same name, Joram, Jehoram, they're both called both names. So I'm pretty sure it's during this time period here. I'm pretty sure both of them die at about the same time. So anyways, let us read this, chapter 6. Elisha causes an axe to float. He reveals to the king how to conduct a war with Syria. Horses and chariots of fire protect Elisha. Syrians smitten with blindness. Benhadad besieges Samaria, and foodstuff sells for a great price. And the sons of the prophets said unto Elisha, Behold now, the place where we dwell with thee is too strait for us. Let us go, we pray thee, unto Jordan, and take thence every man a beam, and let us make us a place there where we may dwell. And he answered, Go ye. And one said, Be content, I pray thee, and go with thy servant. And he answered, I will go. So he went with them, and when they came to Jordan, they cut down wood. But as one was felling a beam, the axe head fell into the water. And he cried and said, Alas, master, for it was borrowed. And the man of God said, Where fell it? And he shewed him the place, and he cut down a stick, and cast it in thither, and the iron did swim. Therefore said he, Take it up to thee, and put it, and he put it, Therefore said he, Take it up to thee, and he put out his hand, and took it. Now, I like this miracle. You know, remember Elijah with all of his flashy miracles, the test on Mount Carmel, calling down the fire, sealing the heavens for 3.5 years. All these big, showy miracles. Elisha likes to do the simple miracles, help out the individuals a little bit. Now, I'm not saying he didn't do any flashy miracles, he does. And occasionally, Elijah did some of the more simple miracles, but Elisha does more of the simple ones than Elijah did. And I like this. They say, let's go build a new house, basically. Where we're at is too small. When it says too straight, it means too narrow. It means it's too confined. There's too many of them now. They need a bigger place. And so they all go to Jordan. They're chopping wood. They're going to build a house. And one guy, he's whacking away at the tree, and the axe head falls into the river and is lost. But it was borrowed, and he apparently doesn't have the money to replace it. So Elisha takes a stick, tosses it in the water. The stick sinks, and the axe head floats, and the guy picks it up. That's a miracle. The iron did swim. Anyways, nice simple miracle, but let us move on. Verse 8. Then the king of Syria warred against Israel, and took counsel with his servants, saying, In such and such a place shall be my camp. And the man of God sent unto the king of Israel, saying, Beware that thou pass not such a place, for thither the Syrians are come down. And the king of Israel sent to the place which the man of God told him, and warned him of, and saved himself there, not once nor twice. Therefore the heart of the king of Syria was sore troubled for this thing, and he called his servants, and said unto them, Will ye not shew me which of us is for the king of Israel? And one of his servants said, None, my lord, O king. But Elisha the prophet that is in Israel telleth the king of Israel the words that thou speakest in thy bedchamber. Now, I like this too. We're not given names here. The king of Israel, king of Syria. Most likely the king of Israel is Jehoram. And I think that this guy who is talking about Elisha is probably Naaman, who was recently converted, as you will recall in our last reading. So he's saying, I like this, Syria tried to put up an ambush. And Elisha told the king of Israel, don't go there. They're planning on attacking you. And so he didn't go. And the king of Syria is like, who's the traitor? Who's the spy? Who told the king of Israel about this? And I think it was Naaman. Can't prove it because it doesn't name him, but I think it was Naaman. Said, well, none of us are traitors. We're all loyal. But that Elisha guy who I went to get healed, he can tell the king of Israel what you're saying in your most private, intimate moments, right? Where nobody else can be. He can still tell you what you're saying there. That's just the power of Elisha. Anyways, verse 13. And he said, Go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And it was told him, saying, Behold, he is in Dothan. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host, and they came by night and compassed the city about. And when the servant of the man of God was risen early, and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Alas, my master, how shall we do? And he answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes, that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Lord, and said, Smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness, according to the word of Elisha. So when the king of Syria is told about Elisha, he sends an army to go take him. If this guy's really able to reveal all of our plans to the king of Israel, we got to get him. We can't let him stay there. And so they take an army and surround the city that he's in. And his servant, which I don't think this is the same servant. The servant in the previous story was Gehazi. He's now a leper. I don't think it's the same servant. So, but the servant goes out, he sees the army, he gets scared, and Elisha, that very famous quote there, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And then he opens his eyes, and he sees a host of angels there to protect Elisha. And then, of course, he blinds them all. And this is the best part of the story here, though. Pick this up in verse 19. And Elisha said unto them, This is not the way, neither is this the city. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom ye seek. But he led them to Samaria. And it came to pass, when they were come into Samaria, that Elisha said, Lord, open the eyes of these men, that they may see. And the Lord opened their eyes, and they saw, and behold, they were in the midst of Samaria. And the king of Israel said unto Elisha, when he saw them, My father, shall I smite them? Shall I smite them? And he answered, Thou shalt not smite them. Wouldest thou smite those whom thou hast taken captive with the sword and with thy bow? Set bread and water before them, that they may eat and drink, and go to their master. And he prepared great provision for them. And when they had eaten and drunk, he sent them away, and they went to their master. So the bands of Syria came no more into the land of Israel. So I like this. At dawn, the army of Syria charges in to come and take Elisha, and he smites them all with blindness. And then he says, Oh, you're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place. Follow me. I'll take you to where Elisha is. And he takes them into the city of Samaria, the capital city. This is where the main army of Israel is going to be. They find themselves surrounded in the capital city. They're prisoners now. Now, I don't think it was the entire army that he took to Samaria. I think the entire army was likely struck blind. But leading an army of blind men, that'd be a little, the logistics of that is a little bit much. I think he took the captains, the leaders, the generals. He took them to Samaria. They were fed. Probably, the army was fed, but only the captains were brought to Samaria, and then the army itself was considered captured when all their commanders were in enemy hands. So that's just what I think. Let us read this here. Verse 24. Oh, no, I just got to mention. It says that the armies of Syria, so the bands of Syria came no more into the land of Israel. In other words, while Elisha was alive, at least, Syria was scared to death of going into Israel, because Elisha was just showing them that you can't fight Elisha. So anyways, verse 24. And it came to pass after this that Benhadad, king of Syria, gathered all his host and went up and besieged Samaria. And there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help, my lord, O king. And he said, If the Lord do not help thee, whence shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor, or out of the winepress? And the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son, and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, Give thy son, that we may eat him. And she hath hid her son. Okay, this is a fulfillment of a prophecy of Moses. I can't remember the exact reference. It's in the book of, pretty sure it's in the book of Deuteronomy. That when the Israelites turned against the Lord, that they would be in such dire conditions that they would turn to cannibalistic practices. This is a horrific story, and I'm glad it only lasts for this brief moment here. Verse 30. And it came to pass, when the king heard the words of the woman, that he rent his clothes, and he passed by upon the wall. And the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh. Then he said, Go, do so, and more also to me, if the head of Elisha the son of Shaphat shall stand on him this day. But Elisha sat in his house, and the elders sat with him, and the king sent a man from before him. But ere the messenger came to him, he said to the elders, See ye how this son of a murderer hath sent to take away mine head? Look, when the messenger cometh, shut the door, and hold him fast at the door. Is not the sound of his master's feet behind him? And while he yet talked with them, behold, the messenger came down unto him, and he said, Behold, this evil is of the Lord. What should I wait for the Lord any longer? So the king of Syria hears this rather grotesque story, and he sends a messenger to Elisha saying, Look, if Elisha doesn't come and fix this, he made me let the army of Syria go. I could have killed all these guys. Would have been good. Remember, the armies that he let go never came back. It has to be a different army. It says the bands of Syrians. So the army that was sent to take Elisha was probably not a full army. It was a host, but probably like a couple of dozen platoons, maybe a division, kind of something like that. And those guys never came back. So Benhadad sends his whole army to besiege the city of Samaria. And so the king of Israel is getting mad at Elisha. Now, I will say, it says the ass's head went for 80 pieces of silver. I don't know how long this siege lasted. It doesn't exactly tell us. But it has to have been a good amount of time for the economy to become for food to become that scarce. That people are buying the head of an ass for 80 pieces of silver. Bad conditions. But we will pick this up in chapter 7. We'll see you there.